Steve Poland here, and it's time for another breeding update. It's been a while, a couple months, so I wanted to let you guys know what's been going on. It's actually kind of a bummer of a time here right now. I live in central Ohio, and for the second consecutive summer, we're under a nitrate advisory. So if you've never had the joy of dealing with that, which hopefully you haven't, we have storm runoffs. We had some really bad flooding a couple weeks ago, and some areas north of here, the fertilizer basically runs down the watershed and gets into our drinking water, and they're supposedly taking steps to build out their facilities and mitigate that so it can't happen in the future. But last summer it happened. We were under a nitrate advisory for 2 weeks in the summer, and what that means is that I can't do water changes because the nitrates in the water supply are higher than what's in my tanks. So last year that sucked a lot. I didn't have nearly this many tanks though, so this year it's really got me concerned. The only good thing is that last year when this happened, I bought an RO system. You know, I run a drip system on all of my tanks just through a regular, like a carbon block filter. But I bought an RO filter last year because that will filter out the nitrates. So I switched over to that again this time right away. So I do at least still have my drip system going into my tanks, but that's not nearly enough to just do away with water changes completely. So really what I've been doing is going in and cleaning out my tanks. Periodically I'll just pull the waste out of there. And as you can see, and you'll notice this on all these tanks down here, the water level is low, so I just pull the waste out with my drain system that I've shown you before, and then let the water slowly go back up with the drips instead of just dripping in and overflowing. So I'm dealing with that right now. Hopefully it won't last the full 2 weeks this time, but I can't say that I'm hopeful. So again, maybe you've never dealt with that, and I hope that you haven't, but that's what I'm dealing with. Also this week, I'm preparing to go to the ACA convention this weekend. It's in Cincinnati, so just a little under 2-hour drive for me, which is awesome. It is in a different location every year. Last year it was in Boston, so that's the American Cichlid Association convention. And there's going to be a bunch of great speakers. I'm really looking forward to it. The thing is, you know, I'm recording this ahead of time, so by the time you see this on Sunday, I will have been there and gone. So look forward to some footage from that in the future from me. Definitely plan to take my camera and check that out. So let's get back to the breeding update. This is the Blue Neon group. They are doing well. This guy's looking great. I did pick up some additional females. The guy that I got the females from originally was having he was a breeder that was leaving town. He had his sort of final closeout of everything he had left, so I got some more Blue Neon females. And then next to them, the Sunshines, I got a couple more Sunshine females as well. I've had spawns out of both of these groups. You'll see those fry here in a little bit, so things are good. These are really my two best producing groups at this point. Up above that, in this tank, these are Blue Neon growouts. Some of them are probably pushing an inch now. They're really tough to see in here. Got a big glare on there so you can see me but not them. Anyway, they're doing great, probably about 40 or 50 in there. This is my little hospital quarantine for my wild-caught red shoulder females that are recovering. I've got one in each of these dividers. Two of them, you can't see them here, but two of them are recovering pretty well. One of them is not. I don't know if she's going to make it. Not sure what else to do for her, really. That's kind of a bummer. And then up top is the row of 10s. I put a different light up here so that you can maybe see in there a little better this time. I've only got water in 3 of these 10s right now. This guy is another guy that I don't think is going to make it, in case you can't tell. He is not in good shape. He was a German red from upstairs that got attacked, and I pulled him out, and yeah, not looking good. But over here, this is a grow out for blue regals. There are a couple in the back that are getting pretty big, which you can't really see too well. And then over here are sunshines growing out. And they're doing great in here. Okay, the double 40 breeder rack. In this main tank here, we've got more red shoulder grow outs. All the bigger ones are in the crawl space. Nothing really has changed there, just some smaller ones growing out. Up in this breeder box I have blue neons. And then over here I got some cool stuff to try out from Andre at Beantown Aquatics, and I'll be doing videos on this stuff. This is a Zis breeder box, and in here I've got some dragon bloods growing out. You probably remember, I've talked about this a little bit since then, but in my last breeding update I talked about how my dragon blood group was not spawning, and so I have had a spawn from them since then, which is awesome. And they are doing pretty well. And then over here I've got a regular tumbler and then one of these Zis tumblers that I'm trying out with blue neons in them, so they are also doing pretty well. And then down below, let's see if he's going to play ball. Yeah, he's hanging out in the back there below the heater. Is the red shoulder male just chilling. See if I can get him out of there. Come on. There he is. Good looking fish. Then in the double 55 rack we've got the dragon bloods. I lost one of my females last week, which I was really bummed about. Had no warning, didn't see any aggression, didn't see any kind of problems, just lost her. So I think I misspoke in the last update that I had 4. I actually had 5 then, but now I'm down to 4. See if the male is willing to make an appearance. There he is. So anyway, they've at least started spawning a little bit for me, so that's good. Down here, the Azurius group, still doing nothing, still bumming me out. Then the top of this rack is the OBs. Never really have much to show for them. They're still young. I do need to check them for holding females, just in case they've spawned. Never like to come out and let you see them, unfortunately. Moving into the grow out, I do have one cool thing that I've done here. Finally got a more permanent fixture for my dehumidifier. I've just got it sitting on this little shelf here, and it is connected to a hose, like permanently connected to this hose, and then it goes down, and I just tied it into my drain system down there, so I never have to worry about emptying it, which has been really nice. And then here in the grow out, we're looking all trippy now. If you saw my build video on the plant tank, I did get an actual plant grow bulb. So I'm growing a little bit of plants, or I'm trying to. I have some Anubias in there. I took everybody's recommendations, so I'm trying that. And then I've got some pothos or pothos kind of growing out of there, emerged. Seems to be doing okay so far. Really just an experiment. At this point, I'm more than growing the plants, I'm using this tank for kind of a holding tank or quarantine tank for some fish that need a little bit of a timeout, either because they're in trouble or because they are causing, because they're causing problems, or because they are being picked on. It's actually kind of nice to have that. I've got, like I showed you a little bit ago, the quarantine hospital for those female red shoulders. Well, this is like an extension of that. I've just got more, except what's nice about this is it's a large water volume. It's utilizing the entire water volume of this system, which is 450 gallons. so it really helps a lot. And then inside the grow out tubs, this is just one of them. I've got red shoulders in here. Doing great, getting big fast. I have sold a few. Just locally. I'm not shipping anything, but I do have these for sale now, so if you're in or near Central Ohio, feel free to reach out to me. Let me net some of these guys so you can see them. Okay, so here's an example of how these guys look right now. That's a pretty big male right there. He is, gosh, he's probably pushing 3 inches now. It's hard to show him really well and hold this camera and this net at the same time, but there's a female in there with him, but there we go. So yeah, they're doing great. This whole thing has been great. So if I could just get through this nitrate advisory, life would be awesome. But you know, just breeding for fun here. Selling a little bit, but that's not really the point. Again, if you're nearby, hit me up. But otherwise, let me know how things are going for you down in the comments. And if this is your first time here at my channel, I would love to have you subscribe, because each week I bring you a new video sharing my experiences in the aquarium hobby. I give updates on my tanks, review products, show you DIY projects, and share tips and tricks to help you take your tank to the next level. Hit subscribe to follow along. Have a good one.